Namaste, Jai Bharat. Divide and rule. Right from school days, most of the history books teach us that the British had adopted a policy of divide and rule to continue their colonialization in Bharat. What is divide and rule? But right in the beginning, let me say the kind of history books that we get to study is created by either leftists or Islamists, or both leftist Islamists. And these people always have their own agenda. They hardly can be free writers. That you take it as granted. Now, what is divide and rule? Do you mean to say that the Britishers came here to Bharat to divide Hindus and Muslims and then maintain the division and to rule the nation on the basis of such a division? Is it really the case? I am sure that this really is not the case, because the British had nothing to do with Hindu-Muslim differences. But when they came here, they found it's a very fertile land of differences. The Hindus and Muslims were already divided. They simply took advantage of this division. They have not created the division. The divisions were created by the Muslims through their narratives that we are different, we are separate, we can't exist with Hindus, we can't live with Hindus. And the British found that this is very convenient for them to maintain the domination. They did it. They haven't divided the Hindus and Muslims, but the Muslims divided themselves. They do it in all societies. They self-alienate themselves, self-estrange themselves to maintain some kind of spurious, unknown identity of themselves which really don't exist. Because religion alone can't be an identity of any human society. And that too a religion that is split into splinters. Then you accuse the British that they divided Hindus and Muslims. That's absolutely unrealistic. The British did many atrocities on Bharat that we know. But the division they haven't done, but they simply took complete advantage of the situation of division. They found these people don't coexist. They took the best advantage of it, naturally. Now, why I said this is, in today's Bharatiya context, it is very significant because look at our existing political scenarios on now. The opposition is against the nation. The opposition wants to come in power, and they will go to any extent. They're against the nation. They spread the lies against the nation. They create spurious narratives against the nation. You'll look at the Hindenburg story. You look at many such stories and look at whatever they do at whichever places, and with one objective of demeaning the nation. At the very outset, they are trying to speak against the ruling government, but indeed they are speaking against the nation, not really against the ruling government, because they have nothing against the ruling government to speak of. They have nothing really, they can't speak anything because the ruling government is fairly good. No one would say they're absolutely good, because there's nothing like absolutely good, but they're fairly good. So they find it very difficult to find fault with the ruling government. So they create such narratives which really don't go against the ruling government, but against the nation itself. Now, this is a very dangerous situation, because once upon a time, the Muslims, who estranged themselves from the Bharatiya mainstream, invited the British attention to division. Divide and rule policy. Divide and rule policy. They haven't invented, they found it from here. They created it from here. Similarly, there are external agencies who wanted to destabilize the nation. Destabilize Bharat because they have their own personal national interests, corporate interests, which I won't say is natural, but could be accounted as natural because their own interests, their corporate interests, their business interests, their power game interests, And you give them a chance, you invite them to debate. In fact, some of our opposition shamelessly goes abroad and says our democracy is under threat. What the hell? Our constitution is under threat. Wow. These kind of things, you go abroad and speak, and you keep meeting all kinds of spurious people and discuss with them all kinds of things. We don't know. But ultimately, it is self-destructive. This man may have, or these people may have nothing to lose because they don't care about the future as they don't have a past. They don't have a really legitimate past of hereditary of Sanskriti, so they may be doing this because they have nothing to lose from yesterday, and they have nothing to be afraid of tomorrow, because from nothing they are moving to nothing. So these people create a situation where you are giving open invitation to those destabilizing agencies of Bharat, they to come here create problems. Bangladesh is living example in front of you. And Bangladesh is what they wanted to do it in Bharat, which they failed because of certain other factors. This is going to be, and let us be very careful, cautious, and be attentive to whatever is happening around. There are a lot of narratives going to come up. There are a lot of stories that will get floated as real. Please exercise your consciousness. Please exercise your rationality and reject when spurious things come to you. Don't fall prey. Don't fall victim to propaganda against the nation. They are anti-nationals disguised in national robes. Robbers they are. Thieves. So, the same divide and rule policy which took place because of one section of people shall take place in different shape because of another section of people who simply are desperate to get into authority and power. Every Bharatiya must be careful. This is Independence Day today. Let us not fall prey to these propaganda narratives and believe in them. At least don't even think of taking those things serious, because that is open invitation to Bharat Todo Tukde gang. We shall think, we have to, and we shall meet subsequently. Till we meet. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Shri Ram.